summer fades away and the cooler days of autumn approach, it's time to shift gears in the garden. In today's video, we'll be diving into the essential gardening tasks for Zone 7A, highlighting what I've been working on to get my garden ready for the changing seasons. Depending on the zone in which you live determines what's best to do in the fall. For me in Zone 7, I've already started moving my tender plants indoors to cleaning up the remnants of summer's harvest. I'm sharing some of the tips and the insights to keep your garden thriving and vibrant throughout fall and winter. October is the perfect month for reflection, preparation, and a fresh start in the garden. As the days shorten and the temperatures cool, I've already been busy bringing in more delicate plants. It's been quite the operation moving my potted pineapples, banana plants, and the pomegranate tree indoors. Why? Because Zone 7A is known for its unpredictable winters. And while our growing season has been generous, I want to ensure that these tender plants survive another year. Now that the tender plants are safely tucked away, have turned my focus to tidying up the garden. The remaining beds of spent summer veggies have been cleared out, weeds have been pulled, and I've started gathering seeds from my favorite plants, such as morning glories and marigolds. This small task will pay off big time when it's time to plant next spring. But October is not just about cleaning out. It's also about planting and planning for the cooler days ahead. This is just a great time to sow some cool season crops. I'm adding some leafy greens like lettuce and spinach. And if you have been considering growing garlic and onions, now is your chance to get them in the ground for a beautiful spring harvest. Your future self will thank you. When transitioning your garden from summer to fall in Zone 7A, adding cool season crops such as lettuce, spinach, garlic, and onions is a fantastic way to extend your growing season and enjoy fresh produce throughout the cooler months. Let's dive deeper into the benefits and growing tips for each of these cool weather favorites. Lettuce is one of the easiest leafy greens to grow, and it thrives in the cool, crisp temperatures of early autumn. Whether you prefer romaine, butterhead, or leaf varieties, lettuce can be sown directly into your garden beds or started indoors and transplanted out when temperatures begin to drop. Aim to sow seeds about 4 to 6 weeks before the first expected frost date for the best results. Keep the soil consistently moist and add a layer of mulch to retain moisture and regulate soil temperatures. Lettuce prefers partial shade in the early season to avoid the harsh afternoon sun. Thin seedlings to allow proper spacing and airflow, which prevents issues like mold and mildew. For a continuous harvest, pick out the leaves when they're young and tender, leaving the center intact to encourage more growth. Spinach is another leafy green that loves the cool weather, and it's packed with nutrients like iron, calcium, vitamins A and C. This versatile green can withstand the light frost, making it a great addition to your fall garden. Sow spinach seeds directly in well-drained soil with a pH between 6.0 and 7.0. It grows best in temperatures ranging from 35 degrees Fahrenheit to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Space the plants about 3 to 4 inches apart and thin them as needed to prevent overcrowding. Keep the soil consistently moist, but avoid overwatering as this can lead to root rot. Pick the young leaves for fresh salads or let them mature for healthier soups and stew. Like lettuce, spinach can be harvested multiple times if you only pick the outer leaves. Garlic is a must-have in any fall garden. It's planted in September or early October in Zone 7A and left to overwinter in the ground, where it establishes roots and starts growing early in spring. The result is a robust garlic crop that you can harvest next summer. Break apart the garlic bulbs into individual cloves and plant them with a pointed end hub, 2 inches deep and about 6 inches apart. Each clove will grow into a full bulb by the following summer. Garlic prefers well-draining, loose soil with full sun exposure. Adding compost or organic matter before planting will boost nutrient availability. In colder regions of Zone 7A, consider adding a thick layer of mulch to protect the garlic from freezing temperatures. Onions are another staple that can be planted in fall for an early summer harvest. They need a long growing period, so starting them in September allows for strong root establishment before winter sets in. Onion sets, small dormant onion bulbs, are ideal for fall planting. They need a long growing period, so starting them in September allows for strong root establishment before winter sets in. Place the onion sets about 1 inch deep and 4 inches apart, with rows spaced at least 12 inches apart. If you prefer planting seeds, you want to start those seeds indoors 8 to 10 weeks before the first frost and transplant them outside in early fall. Onions thrive in nutrient-rich, well-draining soil with a pH of 6 to 6.8. Make sure the planting bed is free from rocks or hard clumps that can obstruct bulb development. Keep the soil moist but not soggy, and weed regularly. Onions do not compete well with weeds, so a tidy bed is essential for good bulb formation. So you see, October is a crucial month for garden transition. Incorporating cool weather crops like lettuce and spinach ensures that you'll continue to have fresh, homegrown produce even as temperatures drop. Meanwhile, garlic and onion establish themselves on the ground, preparing for a vigorous growth spurt once spring arrives. These fall additions aren't just a great way to keep your garden productive, they also help to condition the soil and contribute to your garden's overall health and biodiversity. So, grab your gloves, prepare those garden beds, and get planting. Your future harvest will be worth the effort. With tender plants inside and the cool weather crops going in, it's time to focus on the soil. I'll be adding compost and hay manure to my garden beds, replenishing nutrients lost during the growing season. Plus, I'll apply a good layer of mulch around perennials that will help them weather the cold months while keeping weeds at bay. And don't forget your lawn. If you want a lush green carpet in the spring, October is ideal for aerating, reseeding, or laying down sod for cool season grasses. A little effort now means a beautiful yard later. And finally, let's not overlook the little details that make a big impact. October is the best time to plant spring blooming bulbs like daffodils, tulips, and crocuses. Adding them now ensures a burst of color early next year when everything else is just waking up. So, as we say farewell to summer, let's embrace the task at hand and setting the stage for a thriving garden in the months to come. Whether it's safeguarding tender plants, planting your fall crops, or getting ahead on spring blooms, there's no shortage of things to do in the garden this time of year. Stay tuned for more updates and tips as we continue preparing for the cold days ahead. Happy gardening, and let's keep growing together.